Imagine holding a warm cup of tea in your hands. It feels ordinary, almost forgettable. But that single cup carries a story nearly 5,000 years old. It has inspired emperors, comforted soldiers, connected families, fueled revolutions, and built vast empires. Millions of people drink tea every morning without ever asking how it all began. The truth is, one of the world's greatest drinks wasn't carefully invented. It started with a simple accident in the mountains of ancient China, and that unexpected moment changed human history forever. Our story takes us back nearly 5,000 years to the mist-covered mountains of ancient China, long before paper money, gunpowder, or the Great Wall reached its greatest glory. These forests were home to a wild, evergreen plant that nobody considered extraordinary. It grew quietly among the mountains, waiting for a single moment that would change its destiny forever. One day, an elderly ruler stopped to rest beneath the shade of a wild tree while fresh water boiled over a small fire. A gentle mountain breeze stirred the branches above, and a few green leaves drifted silently into the steaming pot. Instead of throwing the water away, he took a careful sip. According to Chinese legend, that unexpected taste became the beginning of tea. Chinese legend says the ruler was Emperor Shen Nong, a wise leader famous for studying herbs and medicinal plants. He believed that nature held answers to countless illnesses, so he spent years exploring the mountains in search of new remedies. On that ordinary day, he had no idea he was about to make one of history's greatest accidental discoveries. As the water continued to boil, a gentle breeze swept through the branches above. Fresh green leaves drifted into the steaming water, slowly releasing their color and aroma. Curious rather than cautious, Shen Nong took a small sip. The flavor was unlike anything he had ever experienced. According to legend, the world's first cup of tea had just been discovered. But did it really happen that way? Historians aren't completely sure. The story of Shen Nong remains a legend, passed down for thousands of years. What researchers do know is that the tea plant, Camellia sinensis, has grown naturally in the mountains of Yunnan in southwestern China since ancient times. Long before written history, people living there were already collecting and using its leaves. In the beginning, tea wasn't enjoyed for its flavor. It was valued as medicine. Ancient healers believed its leaves could refresh the body, improve digestion, and restore energy after long journeys. Instead of serving tea in elegant cups, the leaves were often crushed, mixed with herbs, and boiled into powerful medicinal drinks. Over the centuries, tea slowly transformed from medicine into something people genuinely enjoyed. Then, during China's Tang Dynasty, one man changed its future forever. His name was Lu Yu. Instead of treating tea as a simple drink, he turned it into an art, a tradition, and a symbol of culture that would inspire generations. Around 760 AD, Lu Yu completed a remarkable book known as the Classic of Tea. It became the first book in history devoted entirely to tea. Inside its pages were detailed instructions on growing tea, preparing the leaves, choosing the purest water, and creating the perfect cup. Tea was no longer just a drink. It had become a way of life. As Buddhist monks traveled across Asia, tea traveled with them. In Japan, it became far more than a refreshing drink. Monasteries embraced tea to help monks remain awake during long hours of meditation. Over time, this simple habit evolved into one of the world's most graceful cultural traditions, the Japanese tea ceremony. Tea's journey didn't stop in Asia. Merchant ships carried precious tea leaves across dangerous oceans and ancient trade routes toward Europe. At first, tea was incredibly rare. Only wealthy merchants and royal families could afford to taste it. What began as an exotic curiosity was slowly becoming the world's next obsession. Everything changed in 1662. When the Portuguese Princess Catherine of Braganza married King Charles II of England, she brought one small habit with her: drinking tea. What seemed like a personal preference quickly became the newest fashion inside the royal court. Before long, nobles across Britain were serving tea as a symbol of elegance, wealth, and status. As tea became Britain's favorite drink, demand exploded faster than anyone expected. Ship after ship sailed to China, returning with valuable cargo packed with tea. But there was one serious problem. China had little interest in British products and demanded payment almost entirely in silver. Britain was drinking more tea than ever and losing a fortune in the process. Desperate to stop the flow of silver, Britain searched for something China would actually buy. The answer was devastating. Through the East India Company, vast quantities of opium grown in India were secretly smuggled into China. Within a few decades, millions became addicted, and an ordinary cup of tea was now connected to one of history's darkest trade disasters. By 1839, China had reached its limit. Determined to end the illegal opium trade, imperial officials seized and destroyed more than 20,000 chests of opium in Canton. Britain refused to accept the loss. What began as a dispute over trade quickly exploded into the First Opium War, changing the balance of power in Asia forever. Even after winning the war, Britain still faced one major problem. China remained the only true master of tea production. Without Chinese knowledge, Britain could never control the world's favorite drink. So the East India Company launched a secret mission. They chose a Scottish botanist named Robert Fortune and sent him deep into forbidden China. Robert Fortune knew foreigners were forbidden from entering China's most protected tea regions. So he did something extraordinary. He cut his hair, wore traditional Chinese clothing, and disguised himself as a local traveler. Hidden in plain sight, he quietly walked into the heart of China's tea empire. Inside China's hidden tea mountains, Robert Fortune carefully studied every secret. He watched how fresh leaves were rolled, heated, oxidized, and transformed into different kinds of tea. This wasn't simple curiosity. Britain wanted to steal centuries of knowledge and build its own tea empire. Fortune didn't stop at learning the secrets. He secretly collected more than 20,000 tea seedlings and thousands of rare seeds. Packed inside specially designed glass cases, they survived the long voyage to India. It became one of the greatest acts of industrial espionage in history. The mission was a complete success. Within just a few decades, vast tea plantations spread across India and the hills of Darjeeling. China's centuries-old monopoly was finally broken, and Britain had secured a new source for the drink that fueled its empire. But tea wasn't finished changing history. Across the Atlantic, millions of American colonists had become devoted tea drinkers. When Britain imposed new taxes and gave the East India Company control of tea sales, anger spread through the colonies. Soon, tea would ignite a revolution. Britain expected the tax to increase profits. Instead, it triggered one of history's greatest rebellions. In 1773, furious American colonists dumped hundreds of tea chests into Boston Harbor. The Boston Tea Party became the spark that led to the American Revolution. Tea continued to evolve. America embraced iced tea. Tea bags made brewing effortless. India transformed tea into flavorful chai. Japan introduced matcha to the modern world. Today, more than 2 billion people begin their day with a cup of tea, making it the world's most beloved drink after water. From a wild plant in the mountains of China to billions of cups poured every single day, tea has traveled further than almost any drink in history. It has healed, inspired, enriched, divided, and changed civilizations. Because tea was never just a drink, it changed the world. Because behind every ordinary meal lies an extraordinary story. This is Savor Vault.